Hello, welcome to Benny's Code, and this is part 2 of how to create a quiz app in React. Alright, so last time we just styled and got this set up, and now let's get into a little bit more functionality and what happens if you actually click on one of the options. Alright, so let's hop back into our code, and at the very top we're going to need 2 more states. And one of them is going to be display answer, and the other is going to be answer correct to see if they are correct or not. Awesome. So let's copy this down twice. Change the default value to false for both of them. False. And alright, so instead of display question, we are going to do display answer, just like that. And we are going to change this also to set display answer, and for this one it's going to be set answer correct. So set answer, set answer correct. This is just going to be answer correct. Just like that. Oh, whoops, don't want the set and a lowercase. Awesome. Now that we have these two, we can scroll all the way down to our button, our answer button. And right now we're just console logging the index, but instead of doing that, we want to call a function that we are going to call answer, HandleAnswer. So let's go HandleAnswer, and we are going to want to give it the index, so that way we know which one we're clicking on. Awesome. Now let's scroll back up and create that function. Const HandleAnswer equals arrow function, break it into some new lines. And what will we do first? So first we're going to want to check whether or not it's a correct answer. So we're going to write if quiz data dot question at the index of display question dot correct answer index equals the index that we were given, which we need to put in here to receive it. Awesome. So now that's checking whether or not the index equals that correct answer index, and if it does, then we got it correct. Let's remove this spacing. So let's open up some curly brackets, and let's console.log this to just console log, see if it's correct or not. So to style a console log, which I found was very interesting, you put the $C and then what you want to say. So we want to say correct, and then you close that off, comma, and then you can put the color that you want to do or whatever styling you want to do. So we're going to do background dash color, set it to green, so that way we know that it's good. And then for the else, it's going to be if you get it wrong, we are going to console.log the similar, but okay, so the $C and then wrong. Put a comma after that. Background dash color is going to be red. Awesome. So now that we have that, we can save it to see if it's correct, see if it's working. All right, so now that we're back here, we can click refresh just to clear the console. And the correct answer to this is the top right one. So we're going to click on that, and it console logs correct with the background color of green. Just like that. And then if we get one wrong, it says wrong. And all the wrong ones console log wrong. Awesome. So now we can go back and actually display the answers on the screen instead of just console logging it. So the way we're going to do that is set the display answer value to not the current display answer. So whatever it currently is, it'll flip it. So if it's false, it'll go to true. And we can also set the answer correct to true. Just like that. And once we, now we can also do the same thing to the else, except we're going to change the correct answer from true to false. Now we can use that to display or style our button based on whether or not it's correct or not. So we can do in the H3, we can put a new line here, tab in, click style equals if display answer and double and the quiz data dot questions dot index at display question dot correct answer index equals index. We are going to pop this onto a new line, and if that's the case, which will have a question mark after it, so that's the statement, and if that is true, then we will do this, which is another curly brackets, color equals the green, which will be $$ for CCEAC. Awesome. And now if that is not the case, we can do else and make another if statement. So display answer and double and this whole quiz thing. So we'll copy this, all of this, control copy, paste, and check if it does not equal. So if you're supposed to display the answer, but it does not equal the same index, then we want to make it red. So after this, we can put another question mark and do the same thing. Color equals red this time, which will be $DB4F4A. Awesome. And now if none of that's the case, we will just return null, which will be no styling on this H3, which it was initially. All right, save that. Let's check it out, see if it's working. Go back to our browser, refresh. All right, now if we click hello world, awesome, that was the correct one. So now if we click next, we need to add a reset because now it's just permanently show the answer, which definitely we do not want. All right, so on this, let's go back to our code. And on this next button, we want to create or add to the next button functionality that's already there. So let's scroll up to that and just add the set display answer and set correct answer to false. So set display answer to false. Go back here, and then also the set answer correct. Correct, and then that should be good. Also, awesome. Save that. And if we go back to the site again, refresh, this will be hello world. We got it correct. And if we click on next, all of the answers are hidden again, and you can't see them until you click on them. So that's wrong. That one was correct. Awesome. Refresh that, go back to the code, and let's write out a right or wrong answer text. So we can go down to below this button and below this div. We can write out another curly brackets, check whether display answer is correct or true, and answer correct. And if that is the case, we want to display an H1 of correct, and then also give it a style of that green color. So style, double brackets, color, quotation marks, that pound 4C EAC value. And now we can do the same thing for the else. So right after this, we can write else display answer and not answer correct. So if the answer is not correct, put another and to, so that because we don't want an else here, we just want to put another and. The H1 will be a correct value because it exists. So it will just display that. So we can do H1 with the wrong answer. And now style equals color with the red color. So pound DB 4F 4A. Awesome, let's save this and see if it works. Add some spaces in here to make it look nicer. Save it, hop back over to the browser, and once we get it correct, awesome, we show correct. Next, get it wrong, and it shows wrong. Awesome. So now let's head back to the code after refreshing this. Okay, now that we are displaying whether or not the answer is correct or not, we should be keeping track of the amount that we get correct, so that way we can show the results at the end. So let's go and create another use state. So this one we can call amount correct. So let's do const amount correct, and then set amount correct. Awesome, equal that to use state, and we'll start it off with 0. Alright, now that that's closed off, we can then go into our handle answer, and now this is the if statement for if it's correct. So in here we can just add that correct number. So we can do set amount correct, and we will want to set it to the current amount, so amount correct plus 1. So now I'll keep track of how many it is, how many we get correct. Awesome, so now that we have that, the only problem with this now is that if we save it, go back to our browser and click hello world a whole bunch of times, it will keep saying that we got one correct. So we can get more than 4 correct, even though there's only 4 questions. So to be able to fix this, we can add a clickable function or clickable state to keep track if it's clickable or not. So we can write down const clickable, clickable, and then set clickable, just like that, and we will equal it to use state, and let's start it off as true. Alright, now there's a few places we're going to need to be able to change this. the first one is when you answer the question, we want to set it to false. So we can go here and set clickable to false. So that way they cannot click again. And now in the else, whether they get it right or wrong, we want to set it to false. So we can click set clickable to false, just like that. And now we also want to do it in the next and back button. So that way when they click next, we want to reset that clickable. So we'll put it to true. And then in the back, we will put it back to false. All right, so set clickable to true. And now in the back, right above the console log, we can set clickable to false. Just like that. Awesome. And now that we have that, we can actually use it. So in order to use it, we can just put it right in the button. So HTML buttons have a disabled tag or disabled field that just kind of shuts the button off. So we can type in disabled equals to not clickable. So if the clickable says true, we want it to not be disabled. Awesome, that should work. And one last thing, we can console log in the handle answer, just console log clicked, just to make sure it's working. Oh, whoops. Clicked. All right, so now that this is console logging, we can go back to the browser and see if it works. We can refresh it and click on it, and it says clicked. But now if we try to click it again, it does not click because the button is now disabled, so it doesn't accept any input. So now if we go to next, it is clickable. So if we go 15, that is correct. It's clickable. Try to click anything again, it won't console log. And if we go back, it is still unclickable. Awesome. Now that is all for part 2. In part 3, we will be rendering the results page with the percentage of the answers that the user got correct, and that will be the final part. Awesome. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in part 3.